Oh, your boy.
Yeah.
Nah, I like Julius. I don't like Jay. I don't like RJ, man.
If I go back to episode 12, you was like, man, they need to trade him. Coach T need to be gone. You was like,
I knew it was coming.
I can't stand RJ, man. Julius I can live with, but RJ, damn.
I knew it was coming. I knew
RJ even been playing a little bit better past couple games.
I still can't stand him, yo. The other day when he had 30, the fans over here getting amped. I'm like, he took 27 shots to get 30 points. Like, that ain't good.
You don't like it. You don't like it. All right, man. You ready?
It's not bullshit, okay? It's real talk is facts.
What up? What up? Welcome back to another episode of Debate with Bait, brought to you by Mo Serious Entertainment in the heart of Mo City. I'm your host, Mr. Charles Baker, aka C Bake. That's my co-host, my brother Gerard, aka Cole, aka Rude Boy, aka Mr. New York Knicks are back and playoff bound. What's up, brother?
Chilling, man. Chilling. Did you see the win last night? My man quickly doing this thing. 20, man.
I see a squad coming together. I see a squad that's coming together. Y'all got to get Bronson healthy, but I see a squad coming together. I see it.
Man, I'm loving it.
Before we get into this, though, let's play some bills. Before we get started, make sure you follow us, ladies and gentlemen, on Mo Serious Entertainment on Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe to Mo Serious Entertainment on YouTube. All right, Cole. Of course, we could talk about the New York Knicks, but we got so many other topics to come up. We got NFL free agency, got a couple of NBA things to talk about. But first and foremost, let's talk about the boxing world, baby. Last week, we reported that the terms have been finalized between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis. The fight has been finalized in Las Vegas on April the 22nd. Now, this is a big boxing match in terms of the casual boxing fan. And what I mean by that, ladies and gentlemen, is no, there are no belts up for grabs right now. We'll talk about that. That's a little weird, but there are no belts. There is nothing special boxing-wise as far as accomplishments going on with this fight. However, for the casual boxing fan, this is a big fight. Of course, Gervonta Tank Davis being the big draw, the pay-per-view star, the little man with the cruiserweight power, set the fight in Las Vegas. I believe it's at the T-Mobile Center against Pretty Boy. Some people call him an Instagram model, Ryan Garcia. Now, both men are undefeated. I believe Gervonta Tank Davis is 29-0, I think, with 27 knockouts. Don't quote me on that. I think Ryan is 19-0 with probably 14 knockouts, something like that. But both men are undefeated. Tank, of course, has a regular WBA belt at 135. Now, Cole, you being a Tank fan, and I'm not going to lie, Tank is starting to win me over, but now that I'm looking at this fight, I got to ask you and Tank fans this. This is what I don't understand. Let's go through the stipulations. Now, of course, Tank being the A-side fighter, and what I mean by that, ladies and gentlemen, is he has the more accomplishments. He's a multi-division winner, and he does have a WBA 135-pound belt, regular belt, while Devin, the Dream Haney, is the super champion. He has a super belt in the WBA. And why Tank Davis won't activate his WBA clause to fight him still remains a mystery to me. But let's get to, I got to ask Cole these questions about these stipulations. Now, Gervonta Tank Davis being the big bad knockout champion, representing the city of Baltimore, baby. Baltimore, Maryland. He is, to me, this generation's version, where at least he's got the fear of Mike Tyson. I look at him as a lightweight Mike Tyson, the punch-out power, the urban superstar. The chicks come out and watch him. When you watch Tank's fights, you got rap artists, you got industry people, you got Tank bring them out. You got women, you got a lot of jewelry. So he's the big bad man in the 135-pound division. However, Cole, I got this question. I got to ask you this question. All right. Ryan Garcia, who is the bigger man in this fight. I'm talking about his weight-wise. I'm not talking about accomplishments. Of course, that's Tank. But I want to ask you this question about these stipulations. And these are stipulations that Tank sent over to Golden Boy, which is the promoter that represents Ryan, Oscar De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins. All right. So here's the stipulations that Tank Davis sent over to the Ryan Garcia camp, by which Ryan Garcia agreed to all these terms. Check this out. Ryan, meaning Ryan Garcia, cannot weigh more than 146 pounds, 10 more than their contracted catch weight of 136 pounds when he enters the ring for his 12-round fight versus Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, Cole, the stipulation started with this. Gervonta Tank Davis fights at 135 pounds. Ryan used to fight at 135 pounds, but he hasn't fought in that division since about 2.5 years ago. He has now moved up to 140 pounds. But check out these stipulations. Let me read that again. On fight night, all right? On fight night. Now, of course, Tank put together what we call a catch weight. And what a catch weight is, ladies and gentlemen, is this. It's where both fighters agree to a specific weight that's not a part of the sanctioned bodies of weight. So, for example, Gervonta Tank Davis has a regular WBA belt at 135 pounds. Ryan, who fights at 140 pounds, explained to Gervonta Tank Davis and PBC that, you know, he could not make 135. He's just a bigger man. So Tank said, okay, if you can't make 135, we'll fight at a catch weight, meaning we'll both agree to a weight in between 135 and 140. Now, catch weights are nothing different in boxing. I personally don't like them, but it's basically agreed upon weight that are outside the national sanctioned body weight, the divisions. So, for example, like I said, Gervonta usually fights at 135. Ryan fights at 140. So Ryan tells Tank and PBC, I can't make the weight at 135 pounds. So Tank says this, all right, I'll agree to a catch weight of 136 pounds, okay? All right. They agree to that. I don't have an issue with that, Cole, okay? But here's where things start to get crazy. On top of that, all right, they agreed to a catch weight of 136 pounds, which means he has, when they do the weigh-in before the fight, that's where both fighters have to either be at that weight or below that weight to make this fight happen. Mm-hmm. And I believe if they don't, if Ryan doesn't make that weight or whoever doesn't make that weight, the fight could possibly be off. I don't think it will because there's no belts on the line, but there's a fine for every pound that you're overweight. So Tank gives him 1 pound that he can gain to make the fight. All right. Now, here's the funny part. On top of that, okay, Tank and his team, all right, put in a hydration clause. And that hydration clause says on the night of the fight, meaning April 22nd when they fight, Ryan can only balloon up to 10 pounds over the contracted weight of the fight, the catch weight, which is 136 pounds. So Ryan, and this is unusual because in boxing, you have to make the weight at whenever they weigh you at the scale, which is probably a day before the fight. All right. Now, generally speaking, what happens is both fighters make the weight, and then you're free to do whatever you have to do after that fight night. And they'll weigh you again fight night, but some fighters, based on their body size composition, they get bigger. Well, it's usually that Ryan, because he's taller. Ryan is, I think, 5'11". Tank is 5'5". And so Ryan will naturally balloon up probably to 148. Okay. So Tank goes behind after he gets Ryan to agree to 136 pounds catch weight, which is 1 pound over 135, which Ryan told Tank he couldn't make. And of course, Ryan hadn't fought at that weight in 2 years. Tank adds, and we've never seen this in boxing. Now, when I say we've never seen this in boxing, we have seen catch weight fights where, you know, certain boxers, I think Floyd did it to Canelo, but we've never seen a catch weight clause along with a hydration clause. So Ryan usually comes in at the night of the fight at 148. Okay. So Tank, Big Bad Tank, the favorite. All right. The favorite. Me and you got him as a favorite. Most of the boxing world, Las Vegas has him as a favorite. Not only puts in a catch weight of 136, which I have no problem with, but then he turns around and says on the night of the fight, before they get in the ring, Ryan can only balloon up to 146 pounds. Okay. Now, keep that in mind. There's no belt on the line. And I want you to think about this, Cole. When Tank fought Barrios, he fought Barrios at 140 pounds. Okay. Barrios is naturally bigger than Ryan. Barrios probably ballooned up to about 150 pounds. And that's usually what happens at these fights. Is like you make the weight, and then, you know, especially for a guy like Ryan, you know, you look crazy when you go to the scale, but you're trying to make the weight. And then the next night, you able to hydrate to whatever you want to. Whatever you want on. Most fighters are like, cool, man, whatever you want to do as long as you make the weight. Floyd did it to Canelo. He had a catch weight. Canelo made the weight. That night of the fight, I remember watching that fight, I think Canelo was probably 180 pounds. But Floyd still fought him and took him to school. So listen to this. Listen to the statement, right? So Tank goes and says, well, let me read what Ryan said, all right? Ryan adds the following. It just shows, it goes to show you, he's talking about Tank. It just shows you what type of person he is. He has no integrity. No will to fight the best, no will to get the best version of me, but it don't matter. Tank adds this, Cole, this is your guy. I wanted the fight to be at 135 pounds. That's my weight class. Davis told Boxing Scene. Shout out to boxingscene.com. He's the one that wanted to do it at a catch weight, trying to do it at 137, 138. I fight at 135 pounds. That's my weight class, and that's what it's supposed to be. They weren't going to take the fight if it wasn't at 136. It's a Tank or a catch weight. Why would I fight him at 140 if he's bigger than me? That don't make sense. That don't make sense. That's just people being a dumb, you know what? That's it. All right. We got that in question. We're gonna come back to that. Now let me put the last stipulation in. And oh, by the way, Tank put this in his contract that he sent to Ryan. And Ryan agreed to all this. If Tank wins, no rematch. If Ryan wins, Tank gets a rematch. So my question to you, Cole. Fight at a catch weight. All right. Hydration clause. So I'm going to weight drain you. Then on top of that, if I win, no rematch. If you win, you got to give me a rematch. Now, we've been screaming for this fight, particularly for the casual fans, right? This is for the casual fans. And, you know, I don't think this is for the best at 135, but this is the part of one of our first episodes, we named the four kings. We named Tank, Ryan, Shakur, Devin. Now, Big Bad Tank, you're going to make me fight at a catch weight. You fought other fighters in particular Mario Barrios, who were bigger than Ryan at 140. You didn't weight drain him. You didn't fight him at a catch weight. You didn't put in a hydration clause of 10 pounds. And then you turn around and say, if I win, meaning Tank, no rematch. But if Ryan wins, I get a rematch. Now, I was excited for this fight because I want to see a good fight. I think Tank is going to win. But I'm kind of like on the fence about this because I'm like, well, this is definitely going to go in Tank's favor because he's going to weight drain the guy. And it's like, how can I feel good about this fight knowing that Ryan is not allowed to be the best version of himself? Now, Tank, you and everybody from Baltimore and all you Tank fans like Cole, and I think Tank is going to win. I think Tank is going to win no matter how big Ryan is. But you fought another 40-pound guy. You didn't weight drain him. He was a champion. This dude not even a champion. He a prospect. You make him fight at a catch weight, 1 pound over 135. Then you weight train him the night of the fight. He can only balloon up, which means that he's got to watch what he eats the night of the fight. That's unheard of in boxing to have both of those. Again, I've seen fights with catch weights. I've seen fights with hydration clauses, but both. And then on top of that, if Tank wins, no rematch. If Ryan wins, rematch. Now, Cole, I smell fear.
I don't smell
fear. Because at the end of the day, I smell fear. I smell a lack of confidence. Okay, A-side guy. You the A-side. You're going to fight it the way that I want you to fight it. If you're going to fight me, you're going to, okay, I get that. I'm the A-side. You know what I'm saying? Floyd did it to Canelo. Fight at a catch weight. But the night of the fight, I can only balloon up to 10 pounds and you know I'm the bigger man? You ain't do this with Barrios.
I look at it this way.
Hold on. Barrios, they fought at 140, but Barrios is a natural welterweight, which is 147. I think Barrios ended up fighting him that night at like 150. But Ryan can't be over 146 pounds?
So I look at it this way.
I smell fear.
I don't necessarily smell fear. I see there's a lot of things that come into play. The Barrios fight could be an example of him having data for himself as far as, you know, when I fought someone bigger, I noticed this, you know, happened in the ring and I'm trying to avoid having that type of disadvantage in my next fight. That could be one. I'm just seeing it from both perspectives. His perspective is that, hey, I fought someone bigger. They were weighed, you know, they were 150 pounds to my 135, and I just felt like overwhelmed in the ring, and it had an impact on my performance. So I could understand him saying, all right, let me even the playing field.
Barrios was a champion.
No.
Barrios had a belt. This is a contender. This is the Instagram model that you insulted.
No. But listen to what I'm saying. He can feel that way because he's fought someone who's been on that weight level with Barrios. That's one. The other part is that you're the A side. You can choose. You have the right to set up things the way you want to set up things when you earn the right. He's earned the right through reputation, through people that he fought through his career to create these stipulations, because what's his name? Garcia is getting more from him than he's getting from Garcia with this fight. Garcia is doing more for Garcia's career than is doing for Tank's career. Not saying that
I disagree. I think it's the same.
It's the same? I don't think it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same because Tank is the favorite. Tank is the favorite. Like that's
but I'm talking about him giving Garcia this fight is giving him more clout than what Tank would get from him, if that makes sense.
Why do you think that? I don't understand that.
Because Tank is the bigger name.
But there's no belt on the line.
There's no belt on the line.
Tank is not putting his belt up.
But it goes a long way into setting Garcia up with the next fight, especially if he wins.
but you got a rematch clause.
There's a rematch clause.
If Ryan wins, check this out. If Ryan wins, he got to fight you again.
But does he have to fight him? Does he have to fight him right away, or does he have to give him the next?
Yes, it's the rematch clause. Yes.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying, Cole. That's what I'm saying.
What's suspect to me though is the weight draining. I do think
exactly
that part is suspect. The other part I don't.
It's suspect because it's like, why you gotta weight drain me? I'm a contender. I'm not a champion. We're not fighting for a belt. You gonna weight drain? Nobody has ever done both of those at the same time. Now, Canelo has done it, but Canelo went to go fight a bigger man for his belt. That was Kovalev. He had a weight drain, but he didn't have a catch weight. See, you got him at a catch weight at 136 pounds. He's 5'11".
Mm-hmm.
And then the night of the fight, you're going to weigh him the night of the fight, which is unusual.
I'm surprised he fights that at that level because 5'11", you should be like 180 pounds.
Exactly. So you're not only making me fight at 136 pounds, the night of the fight, when usually, and everybody knows in the boxing world, you balloon up to whatever you balloon up to. Again, Floyd made Canelo agree to a weight clause. I think they're supposed to fight at 151 in between weight classes. And usually that's what happens. Floyd was fighting at the welterweight division, which is 147 pounds, and Canelo was at 154. And so they agreed to, let's meet halfway, 151. Canelo made the weight. Okay, when it was a weigh-in. Went home that night, ate, drank. He's a bigger man. He came in the fight at about 175, 180 pounds. Floyd schooled him, right? So the fact that Tank has a 10-pound weight clause the night of the fight, and here's what I'm hearing. There's no definite, I have to still check on this, but I'm hearing for every pound that Ryan is over 146, it's $250,000 fine. So I'm sorry, Cole. I smell fear. I smell fear, and let me tell you something. I smell fear, and I'm starting to believe Bill Haney, which is Devin Haney's dad. Bill Haney kept saying on multiple news outlets, I can't get Tank Davis to send me an offer for Devin. Because I'm sitting there saying to myself, Devin is the undisputed champion at 135. Tank fights at 135. Now, Tank has a belt that's underneath Devin's belt, the WBA. Devin is the super champion at the WBA. His belt matters more than Tank's. So Bill Haney was always saying, I can't get Tank to pick up the phone. I can't get Tank to call us back. So think about this, Cole. If Tank is putting all these stipulations in for a contender, Ryan has no belt. Ryan has no big fight. Ryan never been a champion. If he's putting all these stipulations in for Ryan, what you think he gonna put in for Devin or Shakur to try to get them to agree to? I mean, am I saying
he would be the A side against Devin? Would he?
Yeah, he'd be the A side because of the pay-per-view numbers.
No.
So if he making all these stipulations for a contender who's never had a belt, never even contended for a belt, then that goes to show you, man, this guy is scared. He's scared.
I'm not saying he's scared. I think he's playing by the rules that are dealt to him. That doesn't make him scared. He's just trying to make sure that he keeps his record the way he keeps his record.
Exactly. That he's scared.
I don't think that's scared. That's actually saying, you know what? If I could play by these rules, why not?
Come on, Cole.
If you can get
listen. In boxing, like you got it. You can't be a fan on this. You have to admit the truth. Anytime a guy's putting all these stipulations in for this fight, that means he's seen something that he's worried about. I'm telling you, you don't weight drain a guy the night of the fight. Come on, Cole.
I don't think he's scared. I think he's using He's using the advantages that he has to make sure that he has a more likelier chance to win.
Okay,
That's the way I can see it.
You want to be a wordsmith? Yeah, he's trying to activate it. Why do you need an advantage? Because you don't think you can win if everything was fair. You don't think, why you giving
so would you say that's the same thing with the Houston Astros when they were looking at, stealing signs?
Yeah, it could be. Yes. When you cheat, yes. With the Patriots. Why you think the Patriots took the air out of the ball? Because they saw something, or it's just a little extra insurance to make sure that we win. Like, yeah, and that's what's bothering me about this fight. That's what's bothering me about him. I actually think he should beat him. We both said it on this show. But now it's like, is it a fair fight? We're not getting the best version of Ryan. He's going to come in at 100. He's got to come in fight night. Think about this. After he made the weight. First of all, he hadn't fought at 135 pounds in 2.5 years. He's got to agree to come in at 136. So that's going to be a stretch, but he said he can make it. Okay, he makes it. That means the next day to prepare for the fight, he can't rehydrate his body naturally. Like, he's going to have to cut back that night. So that means when you cut back and you can't hydrate naturally to what you are, you're not going to be the best version of yourself.
I get it. I just don't want to say that he's scared. I think that he's just using the rule. I agree with everything you're saying.
Okay. So let me go back to the Barrios example. Why didn't he weight drain Barrios? And Barrios is bigger than Brian.
Because that was probably his first, and I can't go back and say this definitively like I'm 100% correct, but maybe that was his first time fighting someone that much bigger than him. And he learned from, and like I said, he gathered data from that fight, and he said, you know what, I can't do that again. I got lucky that when he might have said to himself after that fight, I got lucky taking a chance doing that. I took a hit from this dude, and there's a lot different from taking a hit from someone 135.
Okay, so again, a nice way of saying it is, you're scared to fight this guy at his best. That's a nice way of saying it. That's a nice way of saying it.
The nice way of saying is that, hey, I might have bit off more than I could chew by fighting someone that big before.
Exactly. So you're okay. Let me not use the word scared. You're concerned.
It could be like you got bit by a dog before, and now you about to walk into a house with a whole bunch of dogs.
Right. And when you got bit by that dog, you worry, right? You don't want to feel that no more, right? You don't want to go scared, right?
You're not scared. You're like, I just don't want this to happen again. I got burnt by
worry. Right, because you're worried about the consequences of you being bit by that dog again, right? You don't want to go through that, right?
You don't want to go through it, yeah.
All right, so again, isn't it same? Just don't be biased for a second.
I'm not being biased. I'm really saying that he could.
If a guy puts all these stipulations on you to fight, he's doing that to not allow you to be the best version of yourself. Not even Floyd did that to Canelo. Fight night, Floyd.
He's guarded. It's just like someone you went on a date. You met this one girl you really, really like. And she played you. She took you for your money, had you taken out on dates all the time. The next time you start dating someone, you ain't gonna want to take this person. You're gonna say, hey, let's go meet up at a cafe.
Right. Because you're scared. Because you're scared. You don't want that to happen again. You're concerned. You're worried.
You're not scared.
You experience something. You experience something that you don't want to face again, right? You're worried about something. You've seen something to where you like, you know what? That don't feel good. Let me take precautions, right?
Of course. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Okay. You never fought Ryan Garcia. That means you saw something with Ryan Garcia.
No, you saw something from your last experience of fighting Barrios, who was bigger, that you said, I don't want to encounter that same thing again. So let me make sure I keep in the playing field.
Okay, wordsmith. All right.
That's what they said, because you're saying I gave the last dude an advantage and still beat him. Because I gave the last dude an advantage and still beat him. But I'm not going to do that again. Like,
because I'm worried it might not, the outcome might not come out to what I want it to be, right? That's why you take advantages. I mean, you take you activate your advantage so you don't.
It's like saying this.
All right. Let me say this. Can we agree to this? You're trying to control the outcome of the fight to a certain extent.
To a certain extent, you trying to control
the outcome of the fight, right?
No, let me finish. You're trying to control the
narrative of the fight. You want to say narrative?
Not the narrative. It's not the narrative I'm looking for. You're trying to control the variables that are impacting
the outcome
of the
fight,
being even
right?
and fair. Being even and fair.
The outcome of the fight, right?
No, being even and fair. Because you gotta think about it. It's like man,
these guys are being Tank fanboys, man. Oh my God.
You just want to make sure that it's a fair fight. Is it a fair fight? Can you say yourself it's a fair fight if you fighting someone who naturally is 100 fights at 150 pounds? Whose natural size, if you go by off a doctor's chart, should be like 180 something pounds. But
okay, but here's what I don't understand. You're fighting a guy whom you've insulted, you said is a YouTuber, not a real boxer, Instagram model. You come out and said that. You fought another guy that was at 140 pounds. You didn't put him under all these stipulations. Now, if this guy's supposed to be a YouTuber, if this guy's supposed not to be on your level, now you the big bad Tank. You 135 pounds in your fights and you got cruiserweight power. That's what you said. You said you put what's the famous phrase Tank said? Ain't no safety on this Glock. Big bad Tank knocking people out, right? But now you facing the YouTuber, the Instagram model, and you need an advantage. You're not fighting a former world champion.
He's not saying he needs an advantage. He's trying.
That's what he's saying.
He's trying to even the playing field because Garcia already has the advantage.
You weight training me.
He's already double
the advantage. How does he have the advantage when you are the multi-division winning champion? You got a regular belt. This guy doesn't have nothing. This guy's supposedly not, and you agree with me.
We're not talking about
we don't boxing skill wise. We don't think that Ryan is nowhere near on Tank. Can we agree with that?
We can agree on that. I do think Garcia is pretty good, though. I watched his last.
I'm not asking if he's pretty good. I'm just saying, do you think he's on Tank's level?
I don't think he's on Tank's level.
Okay.
I think he's close to it, though.
Okay, whatever. Again, you want to play with the words, ladies and gentlemen. He's close to the level, but he's not on his level, right? Like everybody, can we say this? Everybody expects Tank to win, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So why do you need a catch weight and a weight draining clause on the night of the fight?
Because he's already fighting at a disadvantage. The dude is 5'11", and the dude is 150 pounds naturally, and he's 135 naturally. He has to bring the weight down to make it an even fight. He fought Barrios, yes, but he learned from that fight with Barrios. He probably understood that, wow, I took a real risk at this. This dude is that much bigger than me, that much stronger. It's harder to fight someone at that weight. I think he's taking the data and he's realizing, saying, I'll fight you. I want to fight you, but we got to put the stipulation in that's going to lower your weight to make this an even fight.
So that don't sound like fear or concern.
That doesn't sound like fear. That sounds like him being smart. Why am I going to fight? Why am I going to try to fight someone who's 115, 20 pounds more than me and let them balloon back up 15, 20 pounds?
So if you that concerned, why are you fighting the dude then?
But I don't think he's concerned because he is fighting the dude. I think he just wants to even the fight.
Okay, so what is it going to be? If he's not concerned, this is what I want him to do. I want him to do what Floyd did. I want him to do what all great champions do. Make the weight and let's make the fight. I don't care what you come in. Because you know what Floyd said about Canelo? Nah, dude, I ain't going to do that. I'm going to let you fight at a catch weight, but I want you at your best. Because I don't want no excuses after I beat you. I don't want to hear nothing about you weight drain me. I wasn't my best. That's what I want Tank to do. I want Tank, and this is what I've been saying about Tank from the beginning. There are things over there that don't seem right. Now, I was putting a lot of blame on Mayweather Promotions. I gave him props for fighting Garcia. He beat Garcia, 9th round knockout. He showed his power. But even with Garcia was a smaller man that Tank brought up to 135. Remember, Garcia has a belt at 130. Okay. Barrios. He fought Barrios at 140. He beat Barrios, knocked Barrios down 3 times. No stipulations, no contract, no issues. Okay. He won't activate his WBA status to fight Devin. So all of these factors, I'm starting to look at Tank and I'm starting to go, I'm not sure if this guy wants to fight the best at the best. It keeps being excuses. The super champion is standing over you saying, let's fight, dude. Let's see who the best at 135. You won't even return the man's phone calls. You let a so-called Instagram model whom you said and other people said can't box, can't fight. You finally agreed to the fight because Ryan been trying to get you to fight him ever since he was fighting at 135. You wouldn't fight him. He been begging for this fight. He asked for the fight. We finally get the fight. It ain't for no belts. Ain't nothing on the line. And then now you want to weight drain him. So to me, it's like, it just keeps showing like excuses. You beat Garcia. I gave you props for that because you fought another champion. But let's not get it twisted. Garcia was fighting at 130. You brought him up to your division to knock him out. You fought Barrios. He was a champion. You didn't put no weight clause on him. But of course, he wasn't on the same level as you. You won't fight Devin. You make excuses for Shakur. Now that you're fighting Ryan, out of all of those guys I just named, Garcia, Hector Garcia, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, all of them got belts or had belts, multiple division winners. You keep making excuses not to fight them. Now when you finally fight Ryan, who you said he's not a real boxer. If he's not a real boxer and you so-called big bad Tank, why are you putting all these stipulations on him to fight? I smell fear. I smell fear because at the end of the day, nobody in boxing does this. Nobody in boxing sets a catch weight because you're fighting a bigger man. Nobody sets a catch weight and then says, when on the night of the fight, you can only go up 10 pounds. Nobody does that. That's unprecedented. Even Canelo, when Canelo did it to Kovalev, he did and again, Canelo was going up to fight a bigger man. He did a hydration clause, which he said Kovalev cannot balloon up, but he didn't do a catch weight and a hydration clause.
I could roll with you on the fear possibly of Devin, but I don't roll with you on the fear for Garcia. I just feel like he's using.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing, Cole. If you're putting all these stipulations together for a prospect, what you think he's gonna do to Devin if they do fight?
But Devin's different. Devin's his weight. Devin's 135.
Devin, when you come in at 135, we got to fight in a smaller ring, so you can't move. You got to fight with one arm. You can only throw 5 combinations.
Devin's different though. Like if he did that against Devin, then I would say, you know what, Baker, I think you're right. But Devin's 135, and isn't that his natural fighting weight? Both their natural fighting weight?
But again, if he's doing that, think about it. I just showed you when he beat Hector Garcia, he brought him up. That gives him an advantage. He's fighting Ryan Garcia, who's nowhere near Devin's skill. And Devin is probably bigger than Ryan. Like Devin is getting big. He's 23, 24. He's starting to come into his own. And that's the thing. Tank is 28. Ryan is 24. Like, so if Devin, let's say Devin's going to fight Loma in May. Everybody thinks Devin going to win. I think he's going to win too. Devin says this is his last year at 135 because he's getting bigger. He's getting stronger. He's going to eventually go up to 140. So what you think if the stipulations is to weight drain Ryan, what you think the stipulations is going to be for Devin? The undisputed champion.
I don't think he'll have those stipulations against Devin. I think that Devin, I personally think Devin, he'll meet Devin where he's at because they're both the same weight. He doesn't have to tell someone to come down who's naturally 15 pounds more than him to come down weight. Devin is at the same weight. If he does that against Devin, I'm with you 100%. He's scared. He's creating all these extra stipulations. But I don't see that against Garcia because Garcia is 15 pounds more than him. Like, is it why are we fighting at such a high weight above me if you're 15 pounds more than me? No, come down, meet my weight, and I'm the
Okay.
I can prove that.
Come down and meet my weight. Catch weight, 136. I'm on board with that. But the night of the fight, I gotta weigh in, and I can't help the fact that if I eat a taco or if I drink some water.
I'm not saying he can't do it. He's just saying if you do it, take the fine. 250 what's it going? So
exactly. He's saying you can't do it. He's saying if you have a regular meal on fight day, you're gonna get fined.
He's saying if you do it, you get fined. I'm still gonna fight you. Just know you're gonna get fined.
Exactly. You're not gonna fight me at my best without taking money from me. You're not gonna fight with me. Already agreed. Listen, already agreed. First of all, the catch weight doesn't favor me because I told you
Does he get the money? Does he get the 250, or is that fine go to like a commission? Or
no, it's not a commission fight. It goes to Tank.
So that's actually a genius move. Why? You can't get that for that being a genius.
No, that's being scared to me.
That's not being scared. Like,
yes, it is because
I can tell you, Baker.
Cole, listen. We both heavyweights. All right. Let's say we're gonna do a fight, a non-commissioned fight. Me and you, we just gonna fight for popularity. All right. Let's say I'm the champion. All right. Let's say, all right, Cole, I'm 225, you 230. I want to fight at 225. I'm the A side.
Yeah.
You tell me, Baker, I want to fight you, but I can't make 225. And I say, all right, Cole, I want to make this fight because I want to prove to everybody that I can beat you. I know I can beat you. But you know what, Cole? Since I'm the champion, since I'm the A side, I'm going to give you a catch weight. And to me, what's fair is 227, 228. All right? You say, all right, I can do that. I can do that. Boom. We go to the weigh-in. I'm 226. You 227. Boom. You did your part for me. You made the weight. But then I turn around and tell you, I know you naturally a 230 pounder, 235 pounder. I turn around and tell you on the night of the fight, the day of the fight, Cole, even though you made the weight, I'm going to put this, you can't be over 232. And you know what that means for you, Cole? On the day of the fight, I'm not letting you eat a meal. I'm not letting you rehydrate yourself. You ain't fought at this weight in 2 years. On fight day, I can eat a burrito or I can eat a banana and some chicken. You ain't no belts on the line. You can have a salad at 7 o'clock in the morning. And then the rest of the day, you're going to drink water.
I get what you're
hold on,
saying.
wait. Is that you coming in your ring that night at your best? Because if I beat you, in the back of my mind, I got to know this, Cole. Hey, he couldn't eat. I took advantage of that. Is that fair? Is that really a fair fight?
Fair has nothing to do with
That's what I'm saying.
Fair. But I'm just saying
you saying it. That's what I'm saying.
He created up the stipulation. He has the right. He's the
but is that fair to you? Am I getting your best version of you if I do that to you?
You're not getting my best version of me more than
exactly. So that's cheating. That's why people cheat. Yes, it is.
Stipulations. You shouldn't have signed up for the fight if you couldn't meet the stipulations.
Okay, but again, if I beat you, can I really go home and say I didn't let? First of all, I made Gerard come down to a weight that he ain't fought at in years. He did that. On the day of the fight, there's no belt on the line. There's nothing on the line but just pride. On the day of the fight, why can't me and you both sit down and have a meal to rehydrate? How is it I'm able to basically capitalize on full nutrition to where I'm ready to go, but you can't. Is that a fair fight? Or and then Gerard, Cole, I want you to think about this. As my opponent, would you not think in your mind, oh man, he concerned about me. He's so concerned about me that he had to affect how I eat the night of the fight. In the back of your mind, you're gonna think this dude might be scared of me. You're not gonna tell me as an opponent. See, you looking at it from Tank side. As an opponent,
I'm not looking at it from Tank side. I'm looking at it from saying that he's playing within the parameters of which he can has every right to. Just like people get mad at Durant. Just like people say Durant's scared because he doesn't.
That's why I'm asking you this. You're a Tank supporter, but I'm asking you. Listen, I'm asking you. Okay, let me give you another example, and then we'll move on from this. Let me give you another example. You're a Crawford fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel if Earl did that to Crawford? Would you really think Crawford had a legitimate chance to win the fight if Earl decided to weight drain Crawford?
What I'm saying is that I can see from your perspective and see.
Okay, all right.
I just don't think that's true that he's scared. I don't think that he's scared of the dude.
Okay, but if Earl, have you ever heard of Earl Spence or Bud Crawford or even Tyson Fury? As much, let's use Tyson Fury. As much power as Deontay Wilder had, how would you feel if Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury didn't do this. This is why I respect Tyson Fury. With the power that Deontay Wilder had, Tyson Fury was the A side. Tyson Fury did not say, Wilder, on the night of the fight, you got to be damn near 205. He didn't say that. He was like, look, we're going to get on the scale. You meet the heavyweight, we fight. Vice versa. Tyson Fury outweighs Deontay Wilder by how many pounds? We don't know. You know why I respect Deontay Wilder? I'm fighting him at heavyweight. I don't care what he come in because I want the best version of Tyson Fury. I'm not going to weight drain him. I'm not going to do that. Whatever Tyson Fury show up as, that's who I'm boxing. He didn't do that. Floyd agreed to a catch weight on Canelo Alvarez. I get it. Canelo Alvarez is a naturally bigger man. But he didn't say the night of the fight, Canelo, I'm gonna drain you down if you eat more. If you hydrate up more than 5 or 10 pounds, you take a fight or you forfeit the belt. No, you know what Floyd said? I want the best version of Canelo because I want everybody to know, regardless of how big he is, I'm better than him. You know why Floyd did that? Because Floyd wasn't worried about losing. Floyd didn't think he was gonna lose. Floyd didn't say. Floyd's message was, I don't care how much he blown up, as long as he make the weight at the weigh-in. Fight it the night of the fight, whatever he blown up in, I'm going to beat him. I'm not going to weight drain him to where, oh yeah, he ain't the best. Floyd said, I want the best version of Canelo Alvarez. And you sitting up here telling me, if you was an opponent of mine and I did that to you on the night of the fight, you would be like, man, you in the back of your mind, you'd be like, all right, come on, dude. I get up every day, I eat. That's my best version. We eat so we can be the best version of ourselves when we go to our job. You okay with this guy doing this to a contender? You okay with that?
I would say I get it. I get it. I'm just saying, all I'm saying is I get it.
You do that to your opponent.
I understand that the A side has the right to create all the stipulations, all the rules. You see that with the Crawford fight, how there's all these stipulations. You need to take this much money, that much money. Everyone creates stipulations that can hinder a fight.
Okay,
all I'm saying,
that's money. That's money. I get that. That's money. That's money. But you didn't see Earl or Bud saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, I know you fight at 147, but for this fight, I'm gonna make you fight at one." You didn't see either one of them affecting each other's performance. It was stuff outside of the ring.
No, I get that. I can see your perspective of where you could feel like so. I'm just saying I don't think. All right. We're gonna get off this topic. Taking advantage of the.
Listen, we're gonna get off this topic. I'm gonna give you one more example of what it is. Have you ever seen Gladiator with Russell Crowe? Okay. You seen at the end when Commodus was talking to him, he had him chained up. He was like, hey man, he was like, so what would it be now to have Maximus fight the emperor himself? And Maximus was like, you'll fight me? He hugged him and he stabbed him in the back with a knife. And he was like, strap on his armor, and seal the wound. So when they got up, when they went to go fight at the end, before Maximus killed him, he weight drained him by stabbing him in the back. He wounded him. Now, was Maximus his best? No, he did that on purpose, and he covered up the wound to make it seem like he was his real self. He cheated, and that's what Tank Davis is doing. He's stabbing Ryan in the back on the night of the fight, so he can't be the best version of himself. I want you to go watch Gladiator and rewind that part. That's exactly what Tank Davis is doing to Ryan. He's stabbing him in his back so he can weight drain him, so he can't be the best, and he's turning to the guards and saying, conceal the wound, strap on his armor, so nobody could know that on the night of the fight, Ryan is going to be fighting, bleeding out of his wound. That's exactly the same thing as that. And for you Tank fans, just like you, that's why I wanted to ask you this. That's why I led off with this. This is why I wanted to ask you this, because you cool with it, because Tank is one of your favorite fighters. But you know that's not fair, and you know he's scared. I'm through.
I don't think he's scared.
He's scared because he got to weight drain him. Why did Commodore stab Maximus in his back?
I don't see it like that.
He knew he couldn't beat Maximus. He knew he couldn't beat Maximus at his best, so he had to even out the odds. He stabbed him in the back, and he told him.
So what you're telling me, Baker, is that he should come into this fight and fight someone who's 15 pounds naturally heavier than him.
Yes, because at the end of the day,
5'11" to 5'5", they give him all these advantages.
There's no advantage. You the Tank. Floyd didn't do it to Canelo. Floyd fought Canelo at 150. Canelo came in at 180, and Floyd schooled him. You know why? Because Floyd said, I know I'm fighting a bigger man naturally, but I'm not going to weight drain him because I want his best. Because I want to beat the best. I don't want to duck Devin. I don't want to duck Shakur. And when I duck Devin and Shakur, if I fight Hector Garcia, I'm not going to go down to his weight. He got to come up to my weight. And when I fight Ryan, I got to weight drain him. You know why? Because this dude is not concerned. Like I've been telling y'all, I tried to blame it on Mayweather Promotions. This dude is not concerned about being the best. He's concerned about writing checks, cashing checks. If you the big bad Tank, and if Ryan is the Instagram model you've been saying, Tank fans, why you got to weight drain the man on the night of the fight? You know why? You know why? You know why you got to weight drain him? Because you seen something that you uncomfortable with. You seen something with a lack of confidence.
So this kind of explains the way you feel about Kevin Durant too. So you pretty much feel this is the same way you feel about Kevin Durant, because he's not doing it the way that you think he should do it. So you assume that he's scared or he's not.
No. Listen. Let's just go back to the old days of the neighborhood. Matter of fact, let's go back to the East Gym. Let's go back to the East Gym. All right. Now, we both know that there were guys in there that were bigger than you. Not talking about myself, but you knew you were better than them, even if they were bigger than you. So that's just like you saying, somebody that weigh more than you, y'all want to play one-on-one, and you know you better than them. Or let me say it like this. Even if he is bigger than you, you're playing one-on-one. You know why? Because you know you better than him. And no matter how big he is, there's nothing that you've seen that makes you go, I need an advantage. You know you don't need advantage. You know you better than him. And if you played this dude one-on-one, you wouldn't give yourself 5 points. You wouldn't spot yourself 7 and go to 15. You know why? Because it don't matter how big he is, you know you better than him. So my point is this: if you give yourself an advantage, that means you concerned. You worried about something. You worried about there's a need for you to say, based on this guy, I have to even up the battle, because you've seen something that makes you question your confidence or your ability to win. Let's go to the Patriots. You know why the Patriots took the air out of those balls? As insurance. insurance. We're going to make sure that we beat, was it the Titans or somebody? I forgot who it was. Because if you were confident, you wouldn't have to take the air out of the balls. You just like, hey, man, I don't matter what kind of ball we got. We're going to go out there and win. If you the Patriots, that's why the Patriots got an asterisk by their name for me. If I know I can beat you, I don't need to film your practice. What I need to film your practice for? I'm better than you. Or even if I don't think I'm better than you, I'm going to go out there and try to show you I'm better than you. When you need an advantage, it's called cheating. You don't like that word. We won't use it. But when you need an advantage, that means you've seen something that makes you feel like you're inadequate to win. So to me, and the proof is in the pudding with this guy, Tank Davis. You never fight anybody up to this point. You've never fought anybody that we thought you could lose to. The question still remains to me. You got a guy in your division who's undisputed, who has all the belts, who's been begging in the media to fight you. You won't fight him. You won't fight Devin Haney. Why not? You say, and then here's the thing. I wouldn't even have a problem with Tank if he wasn't talking. Like Virgil Ortiz, he's undefeated. He fights with Golden Boy. He fights in the welterweight division. Crawford offered him a fight. You know what his team told Crawford? We good. And they was like, why you won't fight him? His team came out and said straight up, we're not on his level yet. But Tank is out here opening his mouth, saying he's the best in the world. He's the best at 135. Okay, if you're the best at 135, give you another example. Devin Haney. Devin Haney went over to Australia to fight George Kambosos for all the belts. That's B-side stuff. Went over there, took all the belts, became undisputed. George Kambosos activated his rematch clause. Devin Haney went back to Australia, beat him again. He get ready to fight Lomachenko. Lomachenko is a Hall of Famer. Devin Haney finna fight Lomachenko for all the belts. He putting all the belts on the line. That's a guy that's not afraid to fight anybody. That's a guy. You don't hear Devin Haney saying, even Loma was like, man, Devin is big. You don't hear Loma saying, oh yeah, by the way, when you come in the fight, the night of the fight, you got to weigh this amount of weight. It just gives off scared vibes to me.
I get it. I could definitely get it. I could see it from that perspective.
Because again,
scared? No. Do I think he's using the power that he earned as the fighter that he is? Yes.
Well, why do you need that if you're the best? You said you're the best.
And like I said,
and here's the thing: if you need all those stipulations, don't fight him, and then don't open your mouth and say you're the best in the world. Because if you're the best in the world in your weight class, if you're the best in your world, you don't need stipulations. Floyd didn't need stipulations, and we think he's one of the best. Have you ever heard of Mike Tyson telling Evander Holyfield on the night of the fight, you got to come in at this? No. Terrence Crawford, your guy, pound for pound #1, multiple division winner, undisputed. I think his resume is better than Canelo's. Can you imagine Terrence Crawford? Has Terrence Crawford ever went in the fight and said, oh yeah, by the way, Sean Porter, I know we're supposed to fight at 147, but I need you to come in at 143. You know what Crawford said? Let's make the weight, make the fight. And Crawford was the A side. Do you hear Terrence Crawford saying anything to Earl about, by the way, Earl, when we come in the ring, we're not going to fight at 147. We're going to fight at 145. I ain't fight. Do you hear Terrence?
I get where you're coming from.
Do you hear Terrence Crawford saying anything like that? Do you hear Terrence Crawford adding his contract?
I didn't hear any of those.
I know Earl is the bigger man, but I want Earl to come in, even though I know Earl because he's big. I want Earl to come in. Earl might come in fight night 155. I want Earl to come in at 152 if we have no fight. Do you hear Terrence Crawford saying anything like that? You know why he don't say nothing like that? Because he ain't scared. Because you know why? A true champion says, I want to fight this guy. I don't want any excuses. I want him to be at his best. But you know what your guy does? Put in a weight clause.
Can I ask you something? Is Crawford and Earl Spence, is there a 15-pound difference?
Yes. Yes. Earl Spence, the night of the fight, and that's what I'm trying to get you to understand, and all the boxing fans. You weigh in the day before.
No, that I get that. And then you eat,
right.
You do it.
And then you go home and you eat. Now, some people might say, well, that's an advantage. Well, not necessarily, because you can eat and get too big and too fat for the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So you still got to watch what you eat. But we all know that Earl is the bigger man than Terrence. Terrence came up 3 weight classes. That's what makes Terrence so great, is he keeps going up and beating people. That's why he's on the pound for pound list for me. That's why he's a Hall of Famer. He went up multiple weight classes. The undisputed one. Terrence started off at 135 pounds, 130 pounds.
Yeah.
He moved up, and he's still moving up and beating people. But could you imagine if Terrence Crawford told every welterweight that he fought, this is the biggest he's ever fought at 147, I'm coming up to your division, but when you guys fight me, you can't balloon up. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. Like, nobody, you only do that if you seen something you're concerned about, you scared.
And like I said earlier, I said he has data from his previous fight. He might have realized that, wow, I fought a dude that was a lot bigger.
The data says,
I don't want to do it again. I'm not going to fight someone that much. I know my limit.
I don't want to do it again because I'm scared.
No,
I'm scared. Yes, it is. I'm scared.
It could be as simple as in, last night I went out, I drank a lot, I'm hungover, I don't want that feeling of that headache, so I'm not going to do that again.
No. Terrible example. No. You know why you don't want that headache again? Because it hurt. And you scared. You don't want to get that feeling. I don't want to possibly be knocked out or embarrassed. So I'm not going to let this dude be his normal self. That's fear. That's what that is. You lost that debate, man. Let's move on. All right, breaking. Jimmy Garoppolo is signing with the Las Vegas Raiders. He is getting a 3-year, $67.5 million deal with $34 million guaranteed. How do you feel about this move? I've been itching to ask you about this.
Yeah, I actually like the move because I think that he's reunited with Daniels, which is his original offensive coordinator when his days with the Patriots. He did real well under him. I think Garoppolo is a winning quarterback, period. I don't think it's a drop off from Carr, because I would put them pretty much in the same bracket as far as type of quarterback. But I think he fits what Daniels wants to do a little bit more than Carr. He's been to the Super Bowl, so you already know that he's capable of taking a team to the Super Bowl. You'll win with him. He won't lose you a game. He's like one of those players that will never impact the team negatively. And for the most part, he does things on the positive end. So I actually like the move. I think 3 years, 67 isn't bad either. So
do they make the playoffs? Do they contend for the AFC West? Chiefs, Chargers?
It's weird because the way things are panning out now with free agency, I have to see where everyone goes. But I definitely don't think they beat Kansas City. I think that's Kansas City's division. Just by coach alone, I think Denver is going to make the playoffs because I just think that highly of Sean Payton as a coach. So I see them making the playoffs. The AFC East might send 3 teams, possibly 4.
All right, let me interrupt you. Do you think the Raiders make the playoffs? Because I think Kansas City, I think the Chargers will.
I don't know if the Chargers will. I think Denver and Kansas City will.
Okay.
I think Bengals will. Raiders, the reason why I say no is because Daniels hasn't shown me he could be a winning coach in the NFL. This is second go round and he hasn't shown me nothing. I feel like this should be his last year if he doesn't win, because there's too many other coaches that are not getting opportunities that, probably could do way better than him. His winning record, his record as a coach is horrible.
I agree. I think it's a travesty to me that he keeps getting chance after chance and Bieniemy is just getting a chance. I know I keep saying on this podcast, but it just blows my mind.
Yep.
Him and Kellen Moore. I mean, I give Kellen Moore a little bit more rope because he's going to San Diego. He's going as an offensive coordinator. He hadn't gotten a shot at head coach, but I agree. Yeah. I think it comes down to that. I can't even debate you on that. But I think Jimmy puts them back to where Derek was.
I think they're a 500 team to me. Because and then I'll tell you this, the reason why I say it like that is because I see Cleveland making the playoffs with a full year of Watson.
I do. I agree.
I see Pittsburgh always being there because they just well coached. Ravens, I just don't know what's happening with Lamar Jackson. But the AFC, I'm promising you, Buffalo, Jets, and Dolphins are going to the playoffs. Kansas City's going to the playoffs. Those are 4 automatics. And then I just think Cincinnati and Denver are going to go too. So I really can't see the Raiders going, man.
All right, let's stay with the Dolphins. Let's go to them next.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Dolphins just acquired Jalen Ramsey, who exchanged for a 2023 third-round pick and tight end. I can't think of Hunter's last name, or I think Hunter is his last name.
Mm-hmm.
But think about the moves that Miami has done so far this year. Well, within the last year or two, they've gotten rid of Laramie Tunsil, Devontae Parker, Hunter Long, and they received Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Waddle, now Jalen Ramsey, and Channing Tindall. And I think the Jets, and they've also given former Jets QB Mike White a 2-year deal worth $16. Yeah. Should the AFC East be on notice with all this? And then again, check this out. Now you got Jalen Ramsey with the other cornerback. I cannot think of his name.
Xavier Howard.
That's what Xavier Howard. Are they the best duel in the NFL? And should the AFC East be cornerback duel in the NFL? And should the AFC East be on notice with these moves that they've made? I think they
should be on notice. I won't say they're the best duel because if you look at the efficiency rating and what the Jets did, I'm not saying that as a fan, but what's his name? Gardner, right. Sauce Gardner, and this is bad. I'm a Jet fan. Number 4 across from him came from the Seahawks.
Right.
Just for some reason, it's not hit me today. But
right.
they're
I'm saying that's what we know. They've proven.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that when this comes together for Miami, that these two could arguably be the best duel in the league?
Oh, I think they could be. I could think they're up there for the best duel. I don't think they're automatically not the best or the second best, but I do think they're top 5 corner tandem in the league. So, and I think offensively, you have the best receiving tandem in the league right now with Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I don't think anyone in the NFL has a better receiving tandem than that. Not even Philly, and I love Philly's receiving tandem.
Right. All right. I mean, I can't debate that. Let's get to a couple more free agency signings. My question to you is this. The 49ers have reached an agreement, a 1-year deal with former Panthers QB, your boy, quarterback Sam Darnold. Why would they do this?
You know what? There's some offensive coordinators and coaches that can make anyone be good.
And you think Shanahan
that can make him be good? I think it's the guy over there, Shanahan, and the 49ers. I actually don't think Darnold is that bad anymore. I think when he was with the Jets, he was horrible. But I've seen him develop. He still throws a lot of interceptions, but I still think he's still better than half the league.
All right, let me ask you this, because you watched him in the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of system should Shanahan? Let's just say we don't know what's going on with Brock. We don't know how long Brock is going to be out. Is Trey Lance still over there?
Trey Lance is there. He's coming off his broken ankle, I think it was.
Right. Okay, let's just play devil's advocate for a minute. Let's just say for whatever reason Trey doesn't come back fully, and they have to start Sam Darnold. And I'm asking you this because you're a Jets fan. You've had a chance to watch him in New York. What kind of system does Shanahan make for Darnold for the Niners to be successful if he happens to be the starting quarterback?
I think he calls the games the same way he called it for Purdy. Same exact way. Same way that he called it for Garoppolo, because I do think he can make every throw of an NFL quarterback. He has the talent. I'm not even going to sit here and diss Darnold. Darnold
got a big arm. Yeah,
is talented.
I'm thinking about Zach, but you're right.
I actually like him more than Zach, and this is looking back in hindsight. Had we had Darnold last year, we would have made the playoffs. And this is my issue with Darnold. Darnold is not the talent; it's him losing the game for you with his interceptions and his turnovers. Because there's times you watch him and you're like, wow, he could really be a really good quarterback. Like, or if you just ran the ball a little bit more, he has that little Zach Prescott, syndrome, where you make him do too much, he gets out of character. But if you could mix the run in and pass here and there, Darnold could win. I think what Shannon had, he's the one coach that if I was a quarterback, I would pray that I would get.
So you think they should run the same system that they ran with Purdy? Basically, what you're saying is,
or Garoppolo, because he's more mobile than Garoppolo, but he also has more arm talent than Garoppolo.
So that's a mixture of George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Is Debo still over there?
Debo Samuels and the IQ number 11.
Right.
I think they have the talent to win. I
Even
don't think the NFL scares the NFC scares me besides Philly. I think the only ones you could really say are automatically going to go to the playoffs is Philly and Dallas.
Okay.
Everyone else is up in the air. I think Seattle can give you. We can see if Geno could do it for 2 years in a row. We could see if who just signed with the Saints? Derek Carr can play with the Saints, but everything's wide open. Baker Mayfield with Tampa Bay Bucks. Daniels with the Giants. I think the NFC is wide open. I just think the three mainstays is going to be 49ers, Dallas, and Philly, because I think their defense and running game is going to carry them regardless of the situation.
Okay. All right. Now, let's go to Dallas since you talked about it. Man, oh, man. They're adding 5-time Pro Bowl cornerback Stephen Gilmore.
Mm-hmm.
Check out their secondary. Trayvon Diggs. I don't know if it's Stephen or Stephen Gilmore. Deron Bland, Izzy McCoy. At safety, Jaron Curse, Donovan Mitchell, Malik Hooker. And they're releasing, I think they franchised, we talked about that last week. They franchise tag the multi-purpose guy we both like. And they're releasing Zeke today.
I actually think that's a good move.
I do too. I wanted to get your opinion on it, on Zeke. I think they should. I think I think for their system, I just think he's not what they need him to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, remember I told you I was concerned about that because it's like, if you're going to make him every down back, he needs to go. He can't do that anymore. I think you bring him in maybe one or two downs at the most. And so I like the move. I think they need to try to figure out another way to bring another running back in. May even think about looking at
Austin Eckler with the Chargers making a trade.
Eckler, Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
I think Derrick Henry would complement Dak well, or even Dalvin Cook if Minnesota doesn't bring Dalvin Cook back.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should do that. I think all those guys can be multi-down backs and still can be. Yeah.
I think Zeke is more of a let me go back up Barkley, let me go back up McCaffrey, let me go back up Breece Hall, let me go play some backup to homeboy and with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That type of thing, I can see him. I don't see him no more as a starter, or I can see him as a spot starter. Right. So
I'm with you. All right, let's shift over to the Saints again. I like what the Saints are doing. They re-signed Jameis to a 1-year deal. $8 million. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm biased to Jameis. I think Jameis, people complain about him, he threw a lot of interceptions, but I still think Jameis is a good backup. I think he's a good backup because he can start in the NFL for certain teams. But they're bringing him back for a 1-year deal, $8 million. I think that's great. You got a year to prove yourself. Okay. But they're also, this is what I love what they're doing. They're bringing in Carr. They're also restructuring Michael Thomas's contract, reaching an agreement on a 1-year deal, $10 million deal that has a max value of $15 million. I think that's a great move too, because as great as you can be, you've been hurt. We'll give you a year to prove it. So I think both of those guys, the Saints doing that along with Carr, I think that's great for both of them, because put them in 1-year deals and see how bad they want to be there.
Yeah.
I think Thomas, as great as he has, he just has not been there, and he constantly gets injured. I'm not saying it's any fault of his, but I understand the Saints why they're doing this. Let's see how bad you want to be here and if you can still be productive. So I like that. I like those two moves. I like bringing back Jameis for 1 year, and I like bringing back Michael Thomas. I like the Carr move. I think the Saints have a shot to at least win the division.
I just really feel like the East, the NFC period is kind of weak this year.
Yeah.
So I think it's wide open for a lot of teams. And I think that, like you said, I think Jameis Winston could start for a lot of teams.
Right.
If I was him, I wouldn't have signed with them because Carr doesn't get injured a lot. I would have loved to have seen him sign with a team like Pittsburgh Steelers, where there's a possibility that quarterback doesn't play well for a couple of games and he could have got a start, or he could have went to San Fran and competed for a starting job, or he could, go play backup to Dak Prescott, who's been injured 2 of the last 3 seasons all the time, like somewhere where he could get some shine, get some play, and do well. So.
All right, let's go to this. Let's go to another free agent. We don't have time to get to all of these, but let's just talk about 1 or 2 more. Now, the Jets. Is your team bending over backwards, meaning the New York Jets, to sign Rodgers? And the reason why I say that is this. He provided the Jets with a wish list of free agents he would like them to target and acquire. That list includes Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard, Mercedes Luthers, and Odell Beckham. Now, I have a problem with this. And the reason why I have a problem with this is this. I feel like Aaron Rodgers is asking y'all to do all of this to only be there for 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I
say 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And that year, and I still think he'll make us wait like half of off season to make his decision on year 2.
And that's another thing I don't like. He's been doing that in Green Bay every year. Are you coming back? I don't know. He's making the team wait. I just don't like the guy. I don't like the guy's disposition.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally think he's sabotaged. I like the team y'all got without these guys. Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard. I like Mercedes Lewis.
We actually signed Lazard yesterday.
So y'all did.
We did get Lazard 4 years, $22 million.
Right. But I don't like the fact that if you want to get me, sign these guys.
Yeah.
I don't like that. And I actually Huh?
I'll take Odell. We can get Odell.
I mean, I'll take him too, but here's the thing. The message it sends for me is this. I actually think that you guys have a good team. Mm-hmm. I think the only thing y'all need is a quarterback. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it just sends a message to me that he really doesn't want to be there, because he's like, all right, in order for me to come, you got to do this. If you don't do this, I'm not coming. To me, that just gives a overall feeling that you really don't want to be there.
I see it like that, or I see it as in he's doing favors for those individuals. Like saying, Randall Cobb needs to retire. But he's like, hey, Randall, I'm going to get you paid,
Exactly. He needs to retire. Mercedes can still play, but he's not once the player that he was.
And he's not better than neither one of our tight ends that we have.
Exactly.
Or Clown. So.
Exactly. I don't even think y'all need Beckham. I would like to have Beckham.
I don't think we need Beckham, but I'll take it. If you could put him, Wilson, and Lazard together, ain't no one guarding us out there.
Right.
All out the backfield.
Right. To me, it just says that, I don't know, man. It gives off a bad vibe that I really don't want to come. But if y'all want me to come, you got to give me the money I want, and you got to give me the players I want. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, it's not like you going to Arizona.
Yeah.
Like the Jets have a chance to contend for a championship.
Mm-hmm.
At least the AFC.
Yeah.
They have a legitimate shot with the right quarterback. I mean, I don't like how the guy has done Green Bay. I just don't like the guy's character.
I definitely feel like if you would have asked me, I would have went with Lamar Jackson, because he's 6,
we both agreed upon that.
To build a longer future. I would have flipped the coin on Carr, and I probably would have chose Carr just because Rodgers has me waiting, and I'm only going to get him for a shorter period of time.
Exactly.
And so I might have to give us a certain amount of draft compensation that I don't want to give up for someone who's only going to be there for a year or two. So,
right, I'm with you. I just the guy just rubs me wrong. All right, let's get into about two more topics, and then we'll get into college basketball, and then we'll wrap up. Not much in the NBA so far. I mean, other than your Knicks being high, I like what the Kings are doing. The Kings, I think, are in second place in the West.
Love your man from Texas, man.
That's right. De'Aaron Fox has been screaming it for a long time. But I want to debate this because I'm interested to hear your take on this rather. Paul George was just recently on a podcast, and I'm not gonna name who it is, but they asked him to name his top 5 two-way players in NBA history by position. I want to hear your outlook on this. Number 1, he said point guard Gary Payton, 2 guard Michael Jordan, power forward Kevin Garnett, center the one and truly Hakeem Olajuwon, and then at small forward he put himself. How do you feel about that being the best top 5 two-way players in NBA history by position?
He need to take himself out first and foremost. He wilded. This dude is really wilded, man. He ain't even better than Kawhi Leonard. He ain't the best player on the
wanted to
team.
hear you say that. I wanted to hear you say that first off, like, man, because that's what I said. He needed to take himself off.
Yeah,
man.
he ain't even the best player on his team. You know what I mean? Like Kawhi Leonard got that over him, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Scottie
I guess
Pippen got that over him.
that's what I thought. I thought Scotty, man, like, come on, dude. Like, yeah, I mean, you a good defender, but how you feel about that list? Anything debatable on that?
Point guard is debatable.
Who you got other than GP? Two-way players.
You can put Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd used to score too. You know, and Jason Kidd was probably set people up a little bit better than Gary Payton.
That's debatable.
You could take.
I would say offensive wise, Jason Kidd was better than Gary Payton.
Yeah. And you could take small forward out, and even if you didn't even put Kawhi there, you could put Kobe Bryant, put him at the small. You know, or Scottie Pippen. At power forward, I'm trying to think. Besides Kevin Garnett, you could say Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan used to play some defense, man. If you look at versatility, I could see what they're saying with him being more athletically versatile.
Well, I think Tim Duncan is a better, maybe help side defender. Mm-hmm. Where I think Garnett can really play one-on-one, the athleticism speaking, the lateral movement over Tim Duncan. But that's debatable.
Yeah.
Defensive wise. So you got J. Kidd, Jordan, Scotty, Garnett, or Duncan, and what about Olajuwon? Don't hate. Please don't hate. Please, I can feel you about to hate right now. I can feel you about to hate. Two-way player, come on, man.
We could toss it up, man. We could toss it up.
Don't, please don't.
And say Ewing.
No.
We could say a close fourth would be Alonzo Mourning, you know, but
Alonzo, I'll give you Shaq, not Alonzo. Yeah, you hating. You hating.
Nah, I'm not serious.
Alonzo Mourning.
I'll give it to but you can also say Ewing, man. You could toss those two up.
Ewing couldn't do what Olajuwon could do offensively.
I don't know, man. Ewing was the anchor of a defense for a minute. He used to shut people down, man.
Yeah, defense. We talking about two-way players, though.
Since college, Ewing was doing it. You forget that Ewing used to do it since college all the way into the NBA. Even as a rookie of the year.
This says NBA history, not basketball history.
Who has more blocks between the two in NBA
Olajuwon.
I don't know.
Easy. They just named the defensive player of the year after Olajuwon. The only other person that's up there with blocks with Olajuwon is Mutombo. Like, stop it. Come on, man. I thought you was better than that.
I'll give it to Olajuwon because he got the chips. And I'm trying to take my bias out with Ewing. So
he's a better player. He's a better overall pro than Patrick Ewing, man. Like, okay,
you say like it's definitively like totally decide that he's the better overall pro.
College Ewing, I give you that. Nobody was better than college. Maybe, I mean Kareem, of course, but Yeah, college is Ewing. Ewing is better than Elijah One, but Elijah One is killing Ewing in the NBA. I mean, he took the championship from him in New York. I mean, because all, even including Ahmad Rashad, everybody had the Knicks winning.
I know what it is when it comes to the NBA with Hakeem and Ewing. I felt like there were different stages where Ewing was better, and then there were stages where Hakeem was
Absolutely no, sir.
there were stages. There was stages in their career where Ewing
not going for that.
The best center in the league.
No, sir.
He was the space in Jordan all the time.
No, sir. No, sir. Not going for it. Nope. Not going.
There were times. There was even a time where David Robinson was better than Elijah. There was a season or two he was better than Elijah. You know this. He even won MVP that one season. Scored 70 points that one season, I think.
And what happened in the playoffs? What did Elijah want to do to him?
Yeah.
He put hands on Robinson in the playoffs, baby. Shook him, blocked him, sent the Spurs home. Stop it, dude. Come on. Yeah. Stop it, man. Stop hating on. Why you hate on Houston so much, man?
I like Houston. I just think that people outside of New York don't really appreciate Ewing for all that he's done. Ewing is better than what a lot of people think.
Oh, man. All right, let me get your opinion on this. Charles Barkley on load management. He says, you're going to make $70 million. He's talking about the NBA players. You're going to make $70 million and you can't play basketball 3 or 4 days a week. People working in a steel mill every day. I'm pretty sure they're tired too, but they go to work every day. First of all, 2 questions. How do you feel about that quote? Do you agree with it? And who started this load management in the NBA?
I will say this. Until Barkley really broke it down like that, I can't even say that because I also felt a funny way about load management. And I'm going to tell you my 3 reasons why. 1, because back in the day, all them players played 82 games and they didn't have the technology and the medicine and all the stuff that everyone else had. People say, oh, these athletes are different. They train differently or whatever. Still, technology is better. You got better sneakers. You got better trainers. You got better weight equipment. You got better everything. Next one is that you have your rosters have been expanded to 15 players? So if you feel like you need a rest, then the coach should play you 4 minutes one game or 4 minutes and one half, 4 minutes another. Doesn't mean that you need to sit out a whole game. Right. You can come in there for 2 minutes and play and then sit down and say, coach, I'm tired, play the bench. There's no reason why anybody in this league should be talking about load management when you have players on the team that don't play games. You look at the Knicks, Fournier, Derrick Rose, and a whole bunch of players haven't even played. So it's the coach's fault if you feel tired or overwhelmed. So they mismanaging the team. The other part is you have families spending all their hard-earned money to watch you play, and you come into my city and you don't play. I was saving this money. I could have used this money on anything else. I'm not playing to see the bench players. Play a couple minutes. I could respect going to a Knicks game and seeing LeBron playing for 3 minutes first quarter, 2 minutes second quarter, maybe not even in the second half, but at least you got in uniform and you played, and it gave my child that experience or gave me that experience. So I think that's a bunch of excuses when you have teams and you have players that don't see no playing time on the bench. And the last piece is I'm tired of these players getting incentives and getting awards when they're not even playing the certain amount of games where they should be playing to earn this. And I didn't really think about that until they said it, but I definitely think every award should be tied to a player playing at least 65 to 70 games. I'll give you 10 games or 15 games missed, but that's the most you get for a season.
And I'll give you this. I'll give you this in debate. That's the reason why I could easily give the MVP to Joker over Embiid. Mm-hmm. Joker is there and he's playing. Sometimes my biggest complaint about Embiid is that he's not there. He's hurt. Every year he's hurt. And so I do agree that I think it's a lot of validity to that. I agree 100% with that. Just thinking back, and we biased to the 90s. I remember watching The Last Dance, and I believe it was that one season where Chicago went over to play over in Europe, the preseason tournament, and Scottie was holding out, No, Scotty was hurt and Dennis was holding out. And here we are, Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest player in the world, was playing in a preseason tournament with the Bulls. And he played every game, every minute. And I think one of the guys who was commentating on that Last Dance, in that particular scene, he was saying, man, Michael played because he was saying that people are paying good money to come see me play. I'm going to play every night. And so think about Jordan with the flu game. You know, some people say, well, that's not a good advantage. I mean, a good comparison back. They was in the playoffs. Yeah, but the man shows you that, hey, I got the flu, but I can still play.
Yep.
There's people coming to see me. Think about Isaiah Thomas when he rolled his ankle against the Lakers. He was out there playing with a hobbled ankle, you know, limping up and down the court. So I agree, man. I agree with you 100%.
Is why can't you not, you know, have practice then? If you that tired, don't have practice for the whole entire week.
Right.
You know, or play all 15 players on your roster and let everyone play. Start to say, okay, it's halfway through the season. We're gonna only play LeBron them 20 minutes a game.
Right.
And I can see where LeBron and some of these players might say, I don't want to play that little minutes, because they might have stipulations in their contract tied to how many minutes they play or how many points they score or how many rebounds they score. So I can see where certain players are like, I need to play, but I don't want to play, but I'm tired. But then don't put that in your contract. Work something out and say, hey, I'm gonna play this many games, this many minutes, you know, but there's
and I just think guys need to play. Yeah. I mean, I never, you know, even when I played, I never wanted to sit out. I mean, I didn't get hurt till I got to college and it drove me crazy. But I just think guys need to play.
You don't get these years back. You don't get these years back. Like, I want to play every game.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. Who's to blame for load management in the NBA? Because I know where it started. It started with the San Antonio Spurs.
I was about to say that. It's a superset. But I could kind of get the San Antonio Spurs once those players Duncan was playing when he was freaking
exactly
38.
And that's right. And that's what I think. I think the Spurs, they started because they were trying to preserve their older players. Now, in the same time, people say, well, you need to play. I get why they started that, but you know, anytime something starts, somebody's gonna take it and you know, take advantage of it. And I think following the Spurs, teams took advantage of it. Yep. I mean, for one reason, one of the byproducts of the Spurs is Kawhi Leonard. I think he's taken advantage of it time and time again. I don't understand why. I don't understand. That's one guy I don't understand as far as the load management. I mean, he's the superstar of the league. And I think the reason why his face is no longer the superstar of the league is himself. The load management. He's hardly played.
You know, the other part of it too, I think why people want the load management is because I think they know how much money is being made in the industry now, and they want to get the most out of their careers as possible. If they could play 20 years in their career and continue to get league minimum $10 million for veterans or something, these players want to do that. So I could get from the perspective of longevity. I'm pretty sure Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, they would have known that the league would be the way they would have been trying to use load management to make their careers longer as well. You know, so
I mean, I get it from that sense, but I mean, still, man, it as
I don't like it.
Yeah, as a product, the league is going down. You know, one of the things that's bringing the league down is load management.
No, I definitely agree. It's the same way I feel about baseball with innings pitched, how they do everything so off of what they call this stat now. What they call the thing when they check the stats? Analytics. Yeah, analytics. Too much analytics and stuff sometimes, man. It's just what was analytics before? Sometimes it's passion, heart, and desire over everything else, you know. Right. So
and don't get me wrong, I don't think analytics people should stop doing it, but I think people need to reduce it. Stop so much information and contracts off of analytics.
Yeah, it just informs decision. That's to me, informs decision, but nothing informs decision than being right there in the moment and being able to read, you know, what's going on in the flow of a game.
All right, let's get to college basketball and we'll wrap up. All right, one thing I want to talk about, two things I want to talk about is I don't understand college basketball to me as far as coaches, just like the NFL, we talk about that, is getting political with these coaches. Now, here's what was driving me crazy, and it involves the University of Texas. in particular. So Chris Beard, the former Texas coach, remember he was suspended for the domestic violence issue. I think it was him and his wife. Him and Ole Miss are closing in on an agreement to make him the next basketball head coach. He was fired in January following arrest on December the 12th. Now, how is it he's able to get a job that soon? Okay. All right. Each school can do whatever they want. All right. I don't agree with it. You know, of course, Ray Rice is not a good comparison because we saw the video. Ray Rice was blackballed out of the league, for a domestic violence issue that we actually saw on tape. That's what made it so bad. But Chris Beard is allowed to get another coaching job that quick after that. And I think he even picked up a charge behind it. It might have been assault, family violence, but don't quote me on that. And what I don't understand about Texas is this. They just won the Big 12 championship this past week. They beat Kansas again this year. Why aren't they making Rodney Terry the head coach? I saw it on Saturday when they were playing interim coach. And what bothers me about that is that what more can the guy do? Texas is in the tournament. They just won the Big 12. The kids are responding to him. Why would they not just give him the head coaching job, Cole?
You see someone like Shire with Duke just be handed to him because, he's been on the staff and was a Duke player. Yeah, I see it's a double standard. So.
I mean, it's just crazy to me. I don't understand that. Even Dick Vitale said that about Terry. Like, why are they not making him the head coach? Like, if you're not going to hire him, who are you going to bring in? And who could have done a better job, barring the situation? The guy picked up the team right before conference play, and they never missed a beat. In fact, Texas might have even gotten better. And then Chris Beard is able to get a head coaching job after following the arrest. He was arrested on December the 12th. Ole Miss is giving him a offer, pretty much. Well, they've agreed basically that he's going to be the next head coach. Crazy.
Yeah, man. It's crazy how politics work. It's crazy how privilege works. It's crazy, all those things, man.
Right. Now, one other hire, and then we'll get to the tournament that I'm really happy for, and I'm happy this guy is finally being rewarded. It's Damon Stoudemire. He just reached a 5-year agreement with Georgia Tech. And check out his resume, man. I had to point this out. Head coach at Pacific in a stint that included a 23-10 season in 2019-2020 when he earned the West Coast Conference Coach of the Year. He went 32-19 his final 2 years and 71 for 77 overall at Pacific, leaving the job to join Udoka and the Celtic staff. He also worked at Rice, Memphis, and Arizona as assistant coach. And congratulations to him, man. He's now the head coach of the Georgia Tech. Is it Demon Deacons? Yes. Yeah. Down in the ACC. And I like the fact that they're giving him a 5-year deal. They're giving him a chance to turn the program around. They're giving him players and bring his own players in. So shout outs to him. I'm very excited for him. Damon Stoudemire has done a lot for the game off the court, coaching, camps, things like that. I remember running into him here in Houston when he was at Rice. I thought he did a great job over there. So kudos to him. But yeah, man, I'm happy for that. I hope Rodney Terry gets that Texas job. I think he really deserves it. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's get to our bracket. You got a bracket?
Let me see. Hold on. I was supposed to fill one out. I didn't fill mine out, but I know who I like as my favorite.
All right, let's go. Just give me. We don't have to go team for team, but who do you got? Do you have a Final Four?
Give me a second. I'll let you go first.
All right. So I'm gonna start in the East bracket. I got Purdue beating number 16 Howard. Arkansas and Illinois. I'm going to take Arkansas in that 8-9 matchup. TCU and Drake. I'm going to take TCU. Duke and Furman, which is Duke is the 4th seed and Furman is the 13th seed. I'm going to take Duke. St. Mary's and Mississippi State. I'm going to take Mississippi State, even though I'm not sure about that one. Baylor and UC Santa Barbara. I'm going to take Baylor. Northwestern, USC, Marquette, Kennesaw. Boom. Out of that, I'm just going to go straight to the Final Four. That's the East. That's in New York. That's in your background.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your backyard, rather. Coming out of that, I'm taking. Man. Every time I do this, I end up changing my bracket. I'm gonna step out. I'm gonna say Marquette.
Ooh. Okay, I could see that. I could see that.
Because nobody's talking about them, and they had a great season.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah. All right. Out of the West, I'm biased. I'm taking Houston. Even though, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something about Houston. What bothers me is the Sasser injury, but I still don't think nobody can really challenge them, even if Sasser is down. So for the East, I got Marquette.
How long is Sasser out for? Because he pulled the groin.
Yeah, he's gonna play, but he's not gonna be 100%. So, but even in that West Division, I mean, you got UCLA that's pretty good. You got some teams that'll battle, but I still think Houston will win that West. That's in Las Vegas. So I got Marquette in the East, Houston in the West. All right. Then we go up top. We got the South, which is in Louisville. We got Texas, Providence, Gonzaga, Alabama at number 1. Ah, man. I'm going to go with Alabama. I think the number 1 seed will win that. So I got Alabama over in the South, Louisville. In the Midwest, you got Kansas number 1. You got Arizona number 2, Michigan State. I'm going to take Arizona. I just watched Texas beat Kansas. Kansas can definitely be beat. And so I've got who did I just say? I got Alabama winning the South. I've got Arizona winning the Midwest. I got Arizona beating Alabama. Out of the East, I had Marquette and Houston. I got Houston beating them. And then I got Arizona beating Alabama, and I got Houston and Arizona in the championship. All right, who you got? Tell me who you got for your Final Four. Who you got winning?
So my Final Four, I'm going with Houston. I definitely got Houston making it. I do have Alabama making it. I love homeboy at
yeah, dude is tough.
Yeah, I honestly think people talk about Wembayani and Scoop, but this guy he's nice, man.
Nice, yeah.
He's my favorite college player. So I got Alabama and Houston. I do have Kansas losing, and you know who I got Kansas losing to?
Who's that?
UConn. UConn's my dark horse team.
Is UConn on that side?
Huh?
UConn on that side?
UConn on that side. They would meet in the Sweet 16, I think it is. They're the 4 seed.
I must be looking at the wrong.
The 4 seed in the West.
Okay. My bad. Okay.
I actually have UConn coming out over there, upsetting Kansas, I'm sorry.
No. UConn is in the same bracket as Houston.
They're on the lower side. You get what you're reading it wrong.
Okay. I got you. Okay, go ahead. My bad. Yeah.
So I got UConn versus Houston.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You just went in more in depth.
Yeah. Okay. I have Alabama versus this. This is where it's a little tough. It gets a little tough because I always feel like Tennessee has strong teams.
Then they'll definitely upset somebody.
Yeah, I feel like Marquette is always tough defensively. They got a great coach. Purdue, I don't think Purdue's gonna do it.
I don't either. I don't like Purdue. I don't think, other than the big guy, They're just not as athletic as they were last year with that other kid that's in the NBA now, right?
I like the way Duke is starting to mesh.
They are. I just wonder if they're too young.
Last year
they're talented though. They are talented, and they're coming together at the right time. That's
the hardest bracket for me, but I am gonna go with Duke out that bracket.
I was contemplating them, but I guess I'm going with my heart with Marquette because they have been solid all year. But I went back and forth with them and Duke.
Who's your pick for the team to blow it all up and go further than no one ever thought?
It was one that I highlighted that I really think, Kentucky and Providence, like you said, that's going to be, I really don't know who's going to win that game.
Bold prediction, Kentucky loses that game, Calipari's gone.
That's why. Right, that's why. Tennessee is a dark horse too. I actually think Memphis and Florida Atlantic is going to be a decent game. One team that I don't want to admit, but they're going to be, I think they could be a problem is Indiana. I think Indiana could be a
great coach, and they do have one of the best players.
Exactly. I think
it comes down to guard play in these tournaments. Like, how good is your guard?
Yes.
Or your wing.
In Indiana, just like Texas A&M are dark horses to me, they could mess up the whole bracket for you. I think Baylor could be that team too. Baylor's a 3 seed. I think Baylor, their guards are very, very tough.
And Virginia will defend the hell out of you.
Yes, they will. I don't know about Virginia offensive wise, but they are a tough team defensively. But that Kentucky Providence game, I think that's going to be a good game, and I think anybody can win a game.
I definitely agree.
Now, who got winning it all?
I got Alabama winning it all.
Okay, that's decent.
I think when you have the best player in college and he plays like the best player at all times, like when I watch him, I see a mix of AD and Durant.
Yeah, that's decent. You know what? And here's the thing. What's big for me to them, they came down here and beat Houston in Houston. That's big. People don't do that to Houston.
I do like Sasser though. If Sasser's healthy, this is something about you have the most athletic team in all of college basketball, I think.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna ride with Houston if Sasser is at 75%.
I actually think they could sit him out the first 2 games and still win.
Maybe.
You don't think?
They could, but I just don't. I want him to play if he can.
That was a nasty growing pool too.
It sure was. That's what's got me concerned. But yeah, man. I don't have a problem with you saying Alabama could win.
Yeah, I love
they definitely have shown me something this year, man. Golly, they are tough.
It will make something even tougher is to see Miller go through what he went through, where he almost got and still had to go into another city and drop 41.
And that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. He dropped 41. Remember the AD and them was contemplating if he's gonna play. They was like, nah, we gonna let him play. And he went out there and dropped like 41 points.
When I saw that, I was like, wow. I was like, this kid is special, man.
Yeah.
This kid is special.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. That's cool, man. I think we should wrap it up. Keep your fingers crossed. We do have a female coach, high school coach in Monday. And keep your fingers crossed, man. She wants to come to the studio. And I'm hoping that she does. That would be big for us. But shout out to everybody on this episode. We didn't want to keep you too long because we got NCAA stuff we got to take care of. Shout out to Cole. Shout out to those New York Knicks, man. I'm not gonna lie. I like it as much as I go at it with Cole. I actually like the direction that the Knicks are in right now. And the crazy part about it is Cole doesn't. I'm not gonna say Cole don't like Tibbs, but Cole has questioned Tibbs all year, and I think Tibbs is gonna get credit. And I'm not even sure if it's Tibbs that's doing it. I attribute everything to Jalen Brunson. I think if your number one player is a dog, everybody else follows.
I can agree.
And so shout out to the Knicks for that. I still think that's the best free agent pickup. But we got a lot to talk about, man, about the Knicks. I mean, hey, what do we know, man? We got a lot of boxing coming up. Maybe we'll dedicate a whole episode to the Knicks. I would surely hate to do that, but I'm not a hater. I'm not a fan of man. I'm a fan of the sport. So as much as I don't like New York, I don't like the Knicks. I got to give them credit. They look like they're putting everything together at the right time. But hey, who's to see, man? It is New York. They are known for epic downfalls at the wrong time. So maybe they'll fail. But I got to give them credit, man. I'm not a hater. You know, I was trying to get Cole into this debate, and I think he lost that debate with Tank because I think he's a Tank.
I would say I lost that debate.
It's a Tank fan. Yeah, he's a Tank fan. That's what I'm trying to get everybody to see. Be a fan of the sport. Don't be a fan of man. Are you going to be a fan of a man that says he's a champion, but he has a catch weight to a contender, and then he turns around and gives the contender a 10-pound hydration clause to where this man on fight night cannot balloon up 10 pounds? Be a fan of the sport. Don't be a fan of man. And with that being said, Cole has been real all the way from Mo City to Show Me City to New York City, baby, the home of the Knicks, the home of the Jets, the home of the Yankees, the home of the Mets, the home of the Rangers. And they got 50,000 teams that they can jump back and forth. That's what Cole do. One day he loved the Knicks. The next day he loved Brooklyn. I don't know what it is, but we'll catch up next week. Hopefully we'll see you guys again on Monday. Thank y'all for tuning in with Debate with Bake podcast. Stream this on Spotify, Apple, Google, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Shout out to Chuck CEO. Follow Mo Serious Entertainment on Instagram and Facebook. Lord Jesus, Facebook. If it is a Facegram, please let me know. Subscribe to Mo Serious Entertainment on YouTube. Catch us next week on Debate with Bake podcast. And we out.
Peace.